Hey, Gwen, great to see you. We talked before I hit record what you're up to. So tell me, you're teaching somewhat.
I am. I'm kind of in the education world right now. For the summer, I'm doing a summer school program at Marlboro High School with my
Nice.
roommate and former teammate Camille DeRocher. So we work together. So that's been fun. But I started today. So
Yeah.
just doing that, working out here and there, playing some pickleball, getting adjusted to the new life outside of college sports and school. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, you go so many years and then it's like it just ends. So, eh, I mean, a part of you must not mind that, right? You've had a chance to kind of catch your breath.
Yeah, it's been weird. I think I probably won't really feel like I'm done with everything until it starts back up again.
Yeah.
But I definitely it's bittersweet. I have moments where I like could just cry because I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like it ended. I can't be more thankful for the way that it ended. And I obviously had 5 great years here, so I look back on it and I'm like, wait, no, that was really awesome. Like, yes, it's sad, but I have a lot to look back on and smile about. So it's a weird place to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, basketball, softball win titles your last year. I mean, it's amazing.
You really can't ask for anything better. And we had done that my sophomore year. Same thing, basketball had won, softball then won in the spring. And I'm like, how am I? We're never gonna be able to top this. Like
Yeah.
that was the coolest year ever. And last year basketball, we kind of had a tough ending to that season, but softball won. And then this year, just everything worked out exactly how I would have wanted
Yeah.
it to. And I couldn't have asked for a better fifth year. So again, I wouldn't even try to come back and top it because you can't get better than
Yeah.
that.
Hey, it landed you on the cover of the new website. I'm sure.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
actually so funny. I've had like so many people text me. I've had two teachers email me. They're like, "Have you seen this?" It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Biology major. I mean, how are you able to balance that kind of work? Because sports nowadays, it's not just the physical end of it, right? The mental part of playing basketball and softball and any sport is just, it's a lot.
It is. It definitely is. But I think I played three sports in high school. So
Gotcha.
I came from a background of kind of go, 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 and just that was what I always knew. And then coming into college, I think being in season was better for me anyways. And I have the month of September, October, and like then I'm in season until the end of the school year. And honestly, I love that way more than that 1 month because I have a routine, I have a structure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had a weird experience with COVID. So some of my classes that like normally would have had in-person labs, I took online. So I mean, that obviously helps schedule wise. But for the most part, like I took a lot of my labs in the fall, tried to get them over with before softball because those games were a lot earlier than basketball. And I had the best teachers, I had the best coaches. Like I never had an issue with anything. I never like scheduling wise, never had an issue. You learn to communicate
Yeah.
really quickly with everyone. Like, hey, I'm gonna be leaving for a game. Can I do this day? But it's all part of growing up and figuring that out. But everyone here was so awesome and great in that transition, and I really did not struggle because of that.
Yeah, that's interesting you bring that up for people that don't realize that Division three, I mean, any college athlete, you guys have games and practices when you have classes. So how do you do it? So you set aside maybe like a week before, hey, coming up, I got this.
Yeah, so it's nice that like the communication between the athletic department and
Yes.
our
Yep.
and our teachers is great too. They take care of like sending out schedules and stuff, so the teachers have that information. And then obviously it's on each student athlete to communicate with the teacher about when they're going to miss something. But I never missed any games for school, and
Yeah.
I definitely didn't miss any school for like a practice or anything. So I think we were able to find a good balance. And you definitely don't realize how busy you are until you look back, and like I'll look at my planner and be like, how did I do that week?
Yeah.
But it's it takes a village. That is definitely an understatement. So I think you with the good support system though, it wasn't as bad as people probably
Yeah.
imagine it can be.
What are your workouts like during when you do you work out at all during season?
So with it gets kind of funny depending on what season I'm in with
Yeah.
which team. Um, the fall is definitely the toughest for me because you pretty much are doing both sports because we have our fall season with softball that is about a month. We practice 3 to 4 times a week. And then with basketball in that time, we're doing preseason stuff.
Yeah.
So the fall is definitely probably the most exhausting. But then once I move into basketball, I'm pretty much just basketball. I go to a lot of the softball like outside of stuff because they're not practicing at that point.
Sure.
But they do team lifts that, I'll attend. I don't normally participate in anything more than basketball. And then once basketball ends, I go to the practices in the winter for softball, but I don't participate for the most part. And then once basketball is officially over, then I just fully move into softball and it kind
Yeah.
of just happens like that.
It's crazy. There's a nice plaque of you in the athletic office.
I know, I have seen it. It's cool.
Yeah. Also, all American academically. That's got to make the family proud too, right?
Definitely. And I think, it's kind of fun in that aspect of things. Like it's cool to get all the athletic stuff as well, but to also get recognized for the reason that we are here,
Yeah.
school, is nice. And I come from a background, a family who like education was always very important. I love learning. I love school. I would stay in school forever. But both my dad and my mom, were teachers. My dad's now a high school principal. So I just was always in the school. I was always
Yeah.
around school and I love it. I love going to class. I love homework. Like I am that annoying person in class.
Oh,
So, it was nice to also have that be recognized. And it's cool to just even put Framingham State on the map. Like it's
yeah.
very cool to just it's a little school in Massachusetts, and it's like, oh, that's cool to see my name there and be able to represent this awesome place that I've been able to grow at. So
Yeah, a
it's been
lot of you did that. I the cool thing for me is watching you guys in the Moynihan room, finding out where you're going to play in those national tournaments. It's pretty cool to see you guys all together like that. You could
yeah,
tell you could just see how tight a group you are, regardless of the year.
yeah, no, and every year it's like that's the goal at the end of the
Yeah.
year is to be
Yep.
sitting at that table and get to find out where you're going. And I think you almost can take it for granted how like people don't get to go to the NCAA tournament. Like, right, there's
Yeah.
like 64 teams that get to go, and you're one of that number. And I was lucky enough to get to go 6 times with those sports over the past 5 years. And
Mm.
again, like there's people who will play in college and never get to experience that. And so it's when you're sitting in that chair, you're like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this for a minute because a lot of people don't get to have this feeling.
Yeah. I think the great thing sports teaches is being a good teammate, which you can learn. I think you take that for the rest of your life. You guys don't all have to like each other, but being a good teammate is something that you do learn over time.
And it's so true. And honestly, every part of me and every like life lesson that I've learned, I can relate back to sports. And
Yeah.
again, I've been playing 3 sports since I was younger, and I've always been involved with them, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I always say like playing 2 sports in college was also the best decision I've ever made
Yeah.
because you just and you don't even understand it when you're going through it. And I think that's been the really cool part of this whole process is like 5 years ago, I stepped on this campus and was like this little 18-year-old, no idea what was going to happen.
Yep.
And when you look back 5 years ago and like just the growth of who I am as a person, and I have all these amazing best friends now who I met through the sports, and I have teammates who I just adore. And it's like, you just don't, when you're in it, you can't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so that's also been a cool part of like kind of seeing everything come to an end is like, oh, wait, I actually got so much out of this. And I've met so many amazing people and just had these amazing experiences that, again, not many people get to experience. But, from a young age, the being a good teammate was
Yeah.
the biggest thing. And that was, I think, why my parents probably put me in sports to begin with. And I will take that on with whatever I do. And honestly, it's actually a huge part of the career that I chose. I will be going to PA school in January to become a physician assistant. And a huge part of that career is teamwork and
Oh,
working
sure.
in just a team-based setting. And like I've shadowed a couple of PAs and I'm like, yeah, this is where I need to be in this team-based setting, getting to work with so many different people. It's like sports.
Yeah. So that's chapter 2, right? I guess. You?
Yeah, that is next steps, which is crazy. I'm attending MCPHS in Worcester.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
So I will still be around. But that is what's next.
Yeah. Your coaches are fantastic. I've been around Larry and Walter for a while now, and they're good people, and I know that helps too. And they seem to have a good way with you. They're older, of course, but they seem to know how to handle student athletes, and I think that's not easy to do for everybody.
No, and I mean I can't say enough about the two of them. They again, like they are the reason that I ended up here and they are the
Yeah.
reason that I've had all these amazing experiences. And I just coaching is not easy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's something that I ever think I will be able to do. But I know that what they do every day and like they're the ones that stay up all night thinking about, the game or
Yeah.
the practice. And I know it's probably a thankless job and I couldn't be more thankful for what they've given me and what they've taught me. And it's even funny, like we said, you don't get to go to the NCAA tournament all the time. Well, like some people don't have a coach for 4 years, right? Like they go
Yep.
through a couple different coaches or whatever. And so even the fact that I had two of the greatest people on
Yeah.
campus as well, it just I'm very lucky.
And you're friends with like a bunch of people you played with too, like you Cam obviously, and
Yep.
but
Yeah,
so yeah.
I still live with we're moving out of our house in August, but I live with five other girls who I've played both softball and basketball with throughout the years. And it's just you meet
Yeah.
your best friends. You meet your
Yeah.
best friends and like thinking about moving, we're all kind of moving home for a little bit and figuring out what's next. And it's like thinking about that, we're like, oh, who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Living with your friends in college is the best thing ever. You wake up and someone's there to hang out and
Yep.
it's just awesome. I've met the best people here.
One thing I would say about I went to Framingham State many moons ago. It's just the sense of family that they call it family, and the
Yep.
campus is beautiful, but really does embody um, just what a family is, really.
Yeah. And I think, and that was really what drew me here in the first place. I came from a really small town, really small school, loved it. And I just loved the individualized aspect of everything. And I knew my teachers really well. I knew my friends really well, family, like just, I love that community aspect of it. And when I visited all those years ago, I loved immediately you step on campus and you just can feel it. Like
Yeah.
it's just this awesome support system. And I really, again, couldn't have been luckier to have found it.
One final thing for you is, will there be any chance for you to play competitive sports at some level, do you think?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think I will. I think I will be moving on, sadly. I do think that I will be involved in sports in some capacity,
Yeah.
whether it's coaching or volunteering. I actually, who knows where I'll end up with my job, but I've shadowed in an orthopedic office. I have an interest in sports medicine. So, and I think that's a way to stay involved and kind of still be around it. But unfortunately, I think my playing days are over and I think my body appreciates
Yeah.
it. Two sports for 5 years definitely has taken its toll. But, I miss it every day. And I know that going forward, I will miss it every day. But I think we're officially retired.
All right. You heard that first. Officially retired. Thank you, Gwen. This was fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.